Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Andrew at Microphonic Designs, and today I have just finished up the fourth and final system installation for the schools here in United ISD. Today I was on the very south side of town with LBJ High School getting their front ensemble all ready to go. So let's take a look at what they got going on. We have 4 marimbas in the front. We've got marimbas 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they got them. Before I got here, they had them all taken apart and ready to go for me to get under there and do some cabling. We've got 2 vibes over on side 2 in the back row, and they actually have their mixer in the front ensemble because of their synth setup. So let's go take a look at the soundboard. They have an X32 Compact, so that's the mid-size X32 version. It's not as small as the Producer, but not quite as big as the full-sized version. I've got channels 1 through 8 set up with all of the marimba channels. There we go. So we've got marimbas we've got the marimbas occupying channels 1 through 8 on the first layer. Second layer has vibes 1 and 2, and it also has the 5 soloists. So we've got flute, bass clarinet, soprano sax, and 2 trumpets, and then we have a shotgun mic we're going to try to do wireless as well coming in here. So this is our full set of 16 inputs on the back. So here's all the wireless units here. There we go. We've got the Sennheiser EW digital system. And let me show you the back real quick, kind of speaking of those wireless units. First thing I did today was give their innards here a refresh. So I gutted everything and rebuilt it. So a lot of cable management in here, getting all the power cables ready to go, separating out the audio cables to go along the top, and then they all come in over here. So the X32 Compact has only 16 inputs on the back, as you can see. And again, I've got the marimbas coming in here, and I've got the vibes and soloists, or the wireless receivers rather, coming into that bottom row of 16. And I've got the front ensemble kind of broken up, where marimba 1 actually has its own sort of miniature snake. I've zip tied 2 XLR cables together, and it comes in on its own. And because the vibes are way over there and in the back row, they also have a set of jumper cables that I've zip tied together that comes in to a modular snake. So they've got the input box here, and I have made sure that this thing is on there, like I'm moving the whole instrument with it. And so marimbas 2 and 3 come in this way to the input box. So let's go take a look at that cabling. Here we are. So here's the cabling for marimba 2. Again, it just comes in this way, and then it joins marimba 3, and everything goes straight into the input box. And then marimba 4 comes in this way and also connects there. So the cabling for their front ensemble is real straightforward, at least in terms of how I normally do things. And they all come in here. So we got 1 modular snake, and then the 2 cables that come from marimba 1. And you may be thinking, well, we've got a synth station, but we're using all 16 inputs that the board has to offer, right? We've got a synth keyboard, sampler even. So what's going on? Well, even though we only have 16 inputs on the back, we still have, let me walk back around, I'm so sorry. We still have a secret tool at our disposal, which is the 32-channel USB audio interface. So instead of using the Scarlett, the Focusrite Scarlett that's down there, that guy right there, I figured, you know what, it'll actually work a little better if they just come straight into the Behringer. So this is normally not the way we would do things, but in this particular case, it made a lot of sense to just use this. And so that allows us to not only connect the computer straight into the mixer because it's in the same cart, but it also is going to allow us to have separate channels, separate stereo channels for each synth. So I've got synth 1 left and right, synth 2 left and right, and samples left and right if they wanted to use these. If they would prefer to use their SP404 Mark II, then they can just as easily use one of the auxiliary inputs like I was just doing to play some music a few minutes ago. I've got these 2 linked, which is AUX 5, and 6. So they could use this with the 404, or in main stage, they could set up an extra set of channels or outputs to go to these channels here. And so in the routing menu, this is what it looks like. So you'll see channels 1 through 8, which is our marimbas, is receiving signal from local inputs 1 through 8, which is the connectors on the back. The vibes and wireless channels are coming into local 9 through 16. And then the electronics are receiving signal from card 1 through 8, which is exactly what we have. So in main stage, we would select the output as X32 cards 1 and 2, card 3 and 4, and card 5 and 6. That easy. And so because of that, that's built into the board, we're able to overcome the limitation of the 16 inputs because of the particular configuration we have here. So again, even though they have this 18I20, which I love, we don't really need it. So we're going to keep it in here for later seasons in case we need it. But for right now, we're just going to use that USB interface built into the board, and we'll be good to go. And then the 6th wireless, so the shotgun, so the orange, we actually just got it out of the box, a Rode NTG2 right there. And I'm going to help them find the correct adapter cable to go from the back of that mic into the transmitter pack. And the reason that we're able to do that is because this microphone can accept a AA battery to supply its own phantom power. So we just need the adapter cable to go from here into the transmitter, and then we're good to go. And my advice for setting this up is to make sure it's on the same left to right yard line as the performers they're going to be pointing it at. And then we need to figure out how high the bells of the instruments are going to be, because it's going to be a low brass thing. So they'll set the height based on that. And then we just need to make sure that this mic is parallel to the ground. At least that's the easiest way I can think to do it. I don't use shotgun mics terribly often. In this case, they have a particular reason and a particular moment to use it with, or to use it for. So that's what we're going to try. If you are used to using these things, let me know. What are your pro tips for making sure these things are aimed the right way? Because it takes an incredible amount of consistency to make sure that these are pointed at the same spot every single time it's set up. And that's the only way to make sure that the settings and the mixer are going to work out the right way. So yeah, real fast, real quick look at this final setup here in Laredo this week. Tomorrow is Sunday in early August. I can't remember the day off the top of my head, but I finally head home to DFW, and there are going to be, I think I've got 4 or 5 more installations next week back up in the DFW area. So more videos to come. Stay tuned. I hope your Bandcamp season has started well. If you're watching this by the time you're in full swing. And of course, if you need help with audio for your ensemble, for your marching band, please feel free to get in touch. I invite you to reach me directly. My email is andrew@microphonicdesigns.com, or you can reach out through the website. It's microphonicdesigns.com/contact. We've got the form you can fill out. You can also book a call. We're happy to help. It's one of those things that I'm just passionate about, helping you guys make sure you have time to teach, because I wouldn't be where I am today had it not been for the amazing educators, music educators that I had throughout my life as well. So I want to make sure that you guys, teaching students out there, can focus on that instead of this stuff here. So get in touch. We'd love to work with you. And until next time, take care. Peace.